Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Tuesday, February 28, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comment section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Clemson vs Virginia. The Tigers might be hard-pressed to come away with a win in this one, but with how they have been playing, especially as compared to Virginia's struggles, they'll be in it until the end in this one. The Tigers are coming off a massive road win on the weekend, and their three-point shooting has been a focal point of their offense. For Virginia, their struggles on the perimeter will cost them on the defensive end in this one, and their offensive woes, even at home, will hurt them. Additionally, according to Covers.com, Virginia is 0-4 at TS in their last 4 games overall, and the home team is 0-6 at TS in the last 6 meetings between these two teams. Our team pick is Clemson plus 6.5 points. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that Virginia is having another great season on the defensive side of things, though their struggles on the perimeter were mentioned earlier. It's also helped that they've been able to limit opponents on the offensive glass too. The main concern of late has come on the offensive side of things. The Cavaliers want this game played at a slow pace, but even their efficiency numbers leave quite a bit to be desired. Kahei Clark, 11.5 ppg, 5.7 apt, is the winningest player in ACC history, but they lack an explosive scorer. Expect someone in the backcourt to step up in this one, though it remains to be seen if they can find the right scoring punch. Our total pick is over the total. Syracuse Orange vs Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. While Syracuse will likely win considering their home performance and Georgia Tech's inability to win on the road, I'm not sure that they'll dominate. The Yellow Jackets are playing very well right now, which is why they've covered in 6 straight, including their last 3 road contests. Defensively, these teams are similar, and Georgia Tech should have a better performance on that end of the floor than they did against Syracuse in January. The Orange have a winnable game in front of them amid a losing streak and a return to their home floor, but a win probably won't come easy with how they're playing recently. Take Georgia Tech to keep this game within 9 points when it's all settled. Our team pick is Georgia Tech plus 8.5 points. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are 12-17, 1-9 on the road and sitting in place in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Offensively, the Yellow Jackets are averaging 68.3 points, 40 rebounds and 13.7 assists. Defensively, the Yellow Jackets are allowing 70.64 points and are averaging 3 blocks and 7 steals. Key players for the Yellow Jackets are averaging 19.7 points, 7.3 rebounds and 3.3 assists, and averaging 11 points, 7.5 rebounds and 0.3 assists. The Syracuse Orangemen are 16-13, 10-6 sitting in place in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Offensively, the Orangemen are averaging 73.83 points, 40 rebounds and 13.7 assists. Defensively, the Orangemen are allowing 71.36 points and are averaging 3 blocks and 7 steals. Our total pick is under 145 points. North Carolina State vs Duke. The Blue Devils come in playing their best basketball of the season with 4 straight wins. Despite the loss at North Carolina State earlier this season, Duke has won 6 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams. Duke is also a perfect 15-0 at home this season, while North Carolina State is just 4-5 on the road. North Carolina State comes into this game just 5-11 at TS in its last 16 road games. Look for the Blue Devils defense to clamp down on the North Carolina State offensive attack and keep this game played at a slower pace to avenge their 24-point loss at North Carolina State this season. Take Duke minus 4 points. Duke has really slowed its tempo this season and has not had the same kind of offensive success it has grown accustomed to over the years. The Blue Devils play the nation's 291st ranked adjusted tempo, according to KenPom, which has them ranked 9th in the ACC in points per game. However, Duke does possess an elite defense that is capable of slowing down this fast-paced Wolfpack team that is number 87 in adjusted tempo. Duke's three-point defense is in the top 50 nationally, which should help limit North Carolina State's looks at perimeter shots, which is where the Wolfpack thrives. The Blue Devils have an over-under split this season of 11/17 in favor of the under. I expect them to be able to control the tempo at home, where no opponent has been able to figure out the Blue Devils this season. I'm siding with the under 145 points. Toledo vs Central Michigan. In the first matchup, CMU shot 52.6% from the field, one of their best performances this season, and took 26 trips to the free throw line. They never held a lead and lost by 25 anyway. The Chippewas' offense can't keep up with the Rockets, and their turnover issue only compounds that problem. CMU committed 21 turnovers in that first game. Toledo has proven they can win on the road, and facing an offense that can't take advantage of their porous defense, they should cruise to another victory for a 14th straight win. Expect Toledo to beat the spread for a third consecutive contest. Our team pick is Toledo minus 15.5 points. The Rockets are among the fastest teams in the country, and with the explosiveness of their offense, they can put up points in a hurry. Toledo's biggest flaw on defense has been their inability to consistently stop the mid-range shot, which happens to be one of the more effective areas of the floor for the Chippewa offense. Central Michigan doesn't look to push the pace, but they are hot off a 77-possession game and will have no issues trying to run with the Rockets here. The play is the over. Take over 149.5 points. Boston College vs Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons are 5-0 ATS in their last 5 Tuesday games and 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games versus a team with a losing straight-up record. Boston College isn't worth a bet to capitalize on its home win over Virginia. The Demon Deacons will take care of the Eagles in Winston-Salem just as they did in Chestnut Hill. Wake will dominate on the boards and from 3, outscoring BC by 10+ points in the first half and coasting to a cover after the halftime break. The Eagles can't hang with veteran teams on the road and won't look like a different team following their win over the Cavs. Our team pick is Demon Deacons minus 8.5 points. Wake Forest is 60th out of 363 teams in adjusted tempo, but the Demon Deacons have defended at a high level all year and they've also played their best basketball at home. Boston College is shooting just 43.4% from the field this season. Wake Forest is holding teams to just 44.6% shooting, and the Eagles have struggled offensively and on the road all year. Wake Forest should be able to control this game with their defense. Take the under 146.5 points. St. Louis vs VCU. VCU has won 8 of the last 10 games against St. Louis, including a 73-65 win on the road this season. The Rams are 14-3 at home this season and 19-5 overall as a favorite. St. Louis is just 2-6 ATS in its last 8 games overall. VCU is 10-4 ATS in its last 14 games and has won 7 straight games against the Billikens. Look for the Rams to control this game with its defense and roll to a 5th straight win. Take VCU minus 6 points. The under also makes a lot of sense in this spot because I don't see St. Louis scoring much at all. For starters, their offense takes a significant dip on the road. Lead scorer Gibson Jimerson goes from averaging 16.1 points per game on 48.6% shooting at home to 11.7 points on 39.7% shooting on the road. And VCU's defense has been downright dominant lately. The Rams have a top 25 defense nationally according to KenPom, and they haven't given up more than 65 points in a game since all the way back on January 7th. VCU has put up some decent scoring numbers in the past few games against the middling competition, but right before that they had scored below 60 in back-to-back games themselves. Take the under 142 points. Ball State vs Akron. The Cardinals dominated in the first meeting between these two this season, and even though they'll be taking to the road in this one, they'll at least find a way to make things interesting. Ball State has a strong offense, and while Akron has their own defense to be proud of, the Cardinals found success with relative ease when these two first squared off. Defensively, Ball State has a balance on that side of the ball as well. For the Zips, their inconsistency is bound to come back and hurt them in this one, and with how difficult the first meeting was for them, it'll be asking too much for them to flip a switch and cover the spread in the rematch. Additionally, according to Covers.com, Ball State is 4-1 at TS in their last 5 games against a team with a winning percentage above .600, and are 16-5 at TS in their last 21 games, following a straight-up loss. For Akron, the Zips are 1-7 at TS in their last 8 games against a team with a winning percentage above .600. Our team pick is Ball State. Both of these teams have defended at a very high level all year. Akron is holding teams to just 42.5% shooting from the floor, and Ball State is holding opponents to 43.4% from the field. Akron is also 317 out of 363 teams in adjusted tempo, and the home team usually dictates pace. This should also be a close and slower paced game. Take the under 140.5 points. LaSalle vs Dayton. It's those concerns about Dayton's effort level and desire to win by margin that actually has me fading them in this spot, because the point spread of -14 is just too big for a team in that scenario. I do expect the Flyers to find a way to come away with the outright win in the end, but this is just too many points to ask a team to lay against a LaSalle team that's been cashing tickets on the road all year long. Furthermore, even in the case the inkling that LaSalle has checked out a bit on defense, these young athletes still want to run and pad their stats as much as possible. A run-and-gun type game just keeps the backdoor cover wide open for LaSalle. The Explorers have also beaten Dayton outright in the last 2 meetings, one last year and one in 2020, both of which saw the Flyers as -9.5 favorites or greater. Dayton's defensive statistics suggest that they should be able to lock the Explorers down, but if staying healthy for the conference tournament is a concern for Dayton, how many times are those defenders going to sacrifice their body to make a play in an otherwise quite meaningless game here? LaSalle's not dropped 2 consecutive road games against the spread this year, and with this many points as a cushion, the Explorers keep it within this spread. Our team pick is LaSalle plus 14 points. No need to really overthink this one with lack of motivation questions for both defenses, as this is a total I've got to go up and over. The whole thought process behind this handicap has been about the questions around effort on the defensive end of the floor for both sides, and with that being the case, I don't believe that Dayton's 7-8 OU record at home carries as much weight as normal. Neither does Dayton's 47th ranked defense in KenPom's AGD. The Flyers really have no reason to overexert themselves defensively in this game, especially if it's well in hand late. So I don't expect Dayton to play anywhere near as well as that 47th ranking suggests, as they are also 6-5 OU this year when listed as a double-digit favorite. That means that the best time to back an over in a Dayton home game is when they are huge chalk, as they've tended to play a little looser on defense in those contests they are expected to win easily. That's precisely the type of game I expect to see here, as this game gets into the 140s. Our total pick is over 136 points.